So welcome back. Today's class is going to be extra gentle since so many people have been on vacation. So welcome back. The teachings of yoga begin now. Yoga Sutra numero uno. Yoga is vigilance, awareness, and stillness of the mind. Yoga frees you from the drama, the tragedy, the saga that your mind creates, and allows you to experience your true self. This true self, says the tantric teaching, that you already are perfect, luminous, awesome. You just forgot. Kind of like being in the Matrix. All right, so go ahead and find a comfortable way to sit. So as I've been exploring this idea or concept lately over the past few weeks, this idea of vagal nerve activation. We're going to kind of continue in that vein of content and practice today. So go ahead and you could do some gentle, we're just going to lift, except for Jim or Joe rather, don't lift your neck. So just stretch your neck up and then just bring it back down again. And just go back and forth, easy stretches. You can roll your shoulders, squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back body a couple times, and then round the shoulders and squeeze and round, just to kind of open up the lungs, the rib cage, but then also give a massage to your back muscles, upper back muscles in particular. All right, so let's begin with some analoma viloma, so the alternate nostril breaths. So you can make your rabbit peace signs. Gonna put your peace sign fingers over the forehead. And you can even close your eyes for a moment before we begin, and just sort of tap gently with your peace sign, your fingertips on the center of your forehead, almost like you're saying, knock, knock, let me in. And just having a sense. So if you want, you can stop tapping for a second, or you can keep tapping, but you can have a sense that with your eyes closed, you can visualize this. So from that place in the middle of the forehead that you were just tapping, excuse me, you're going to draw a line through the center of your head from that place back to right above the bottom of the cranial, or the cranial ridge, I guess you could say, but the bottom of your occiput. So right above the brain stem there, where it would come up into the brain. But so draw a line from the forehead to the back of the brain, occiput, and then another line between your temples, so from left temple to right temple. And just imagine those two lines being drawn, invisible lines that you're creating, and then intersecting at some place in the middle of your head, in the space in the middle of your head. So this is generally where your midbrain is. And so that's take a few moments to kind of connect with the sense of that very physical, real space area where there are some very real structures in your brain. And interestingly enough, if you were to look at a drawing, like a dissection of the midbrain, if you were to cut your brain in half and then open it up and look at it, the area of the midbrain looks like those drawings of the third eye. It's really interesting, that with the eye kind of inside where the pineal gland is over here and the amygdala and hippocampi, and then there's other structures that I'm not even familiar with all their names, but just interesting. So that those ancient artists, and yoga practitioners way back in the day of Soma, they had this sense that the midbrain was so important, and they drew it that way. And that's actually what it even looks like. So just connect with that sense of the midbrain, and then you can go back and tap on the forehead. And again, that idea that we're going to awaken the midbrain. Wake up, open up that third eye. All right, so then you're gonna go ahead and put your nose clips on. Susie's gonna come breathe with us. You gonna breathe? So you can breathe to the rhythm of inhalations for 4, and then open up the other side as you pinch off the first side. Exhale to 8. And there's no retention, so continue to inhale through that second side to 4. And pinch off and exhale out the second side. Exhale to 8. So you can continue in this manner. So what you want to start to pay attention to is what's happening with the length of your exhalations. So just let them become, each one might start to become longer and longer, which is good. And as the exhalations become longer, you can still kind of fit it into the count of 8. Just slow down your counting. Let the corresponding inhalation that follows to become half that rate. So if you're counting out the breath, exhalation becomes longer, like say the count of 10. Then for the next inhalation, inhale to the count of 5. So that we're trying to keep the rhythm of 2 to 1. In order to activate the vagal ventral system, relax your shoulders, relax your forehead. And then let's do one more round. And then when you get to the end of this exhalation, you can let your hand come rest in your lap once again. And close your eyes. So just noticing how you feel, noticing any change, noticing what's new. All right, so now let's practice one more breath, rhythmic breathing practice. So we're going to continue to breathe in for 4 and out for 8, but without breathing in and out through each nostril. And if you like, you can also, as you're exhaling, you can contract the muscles around your vocal cords. So you're going to add in a little ujjayi, that white noise quality of sound. So you can contract the vocal cords, or if you wish, you can purse your lips and make that sort of waterfall whooshing sound as you're exhaling. And then close your mouth again when you inhale. And another thing that you can do that I've been adding in lately is that you can keep rhythm by tapping on the sides of your hand. So if you're you can think of the rhythm that you're tapping in as being kind of like the second hand in the, the opening of the TV show 60 Minutes. That tick, 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 right? Second counting or ticking off of the stopwatch. So you can do that, or you can make it be more the count of each count of the breath, that 1, 2, 3, 4 that you're inhaling to. I like to go quicker, so it becomes more like, eighth notes within my quarter note. So think about that. Tapping your hand, inhaling, exhaling. So now continue to practice in this manner. If it gets to be too much to be tapping, then just go back to inhaling to 4, exhaling to 8. But we're going to continue. I have a timer set for 5 minutes. So now you can let go of the tapping if you like. And in your mind, I want you to think about how there's an opening in the top of your head, like a portal above you. And you're going to be inhaling still to the same rhythm, inhaling to 4, And as you're inhaling, you're going to breathe that, inhale that breath all the way down into the area right behind your heart. And then you're going to let the breath turn around and exhale it back out the, kind of going up the front or of that channel, going all the way back out, and exhaling it out through the top of the head as well to the count of 8. And then as you're inhaling, you're going to think of the chant or the mantra hum, hum, and then sa as you exhale. You can say these mantras out loud if you like, or you could just think about them. Let the guiding of the breath kind of tickle the back of your heart. So now you can let go of the counting if you've still been counting out the breath, and just stay with the guiding of the inhaling hum through the crown of the head into the area behind the heart. Let it turn around at your heart and leave the body with a sa. So you can complete your final breath here now. And come back to sitting in an upright position. Noticing what you notice. Connecting with that teaching from the tantric era of yoga, that yoga is boga. And connecting with what is pleasurable right now. Even if it's just sort of the nuance of your experience right now, connect with it. And let's enhance it. Does it have a color? If this feeling right now in your body, in your experience, had a color, what would that color be? And just let it present itself to you. Does it have a smell? Does it have a taste? Does it have a feel? Does it give you goosebumps in your skin? Does it allow you to feel warmer? Does it have an energy? Does it move? Does it pulse? Just noticing right now. Does it remind you of anything? Connecting with the learning centers of your brain through memory. And if you could give this experience right now a name, what would it be called? And then as you feel ready, you can go ahead and bring yourself back. Opening your eyes, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. So I'm curious, does your experience have a name? Did you come up with a name or a color? Did it have a color? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you wish to. All right. So you can I've been playing with my old deflated yoga ball this week. So you can put whatever you'd like for you in front of you that you can drape yourself over. Oh, it's cold today though. I don't think I want to use it. So we'll go back to the bolster. And draping over for a child's pose. So trying to set yourself up so that your spine is parallel to the floor. So you don't have like a mountain where your sit bones are jutting up into the air or your head is higher than your sit bones. And we're doing this in order to be able to release your lumbar a little bit more, to soften the paraspinal muscles, those muscles that run both sides of the spine tend to be very tight and rigid. So see if you can use the breathing skills that you've been cultivating here over the past almost year, really, that I've been trying to systematically incorporate it into our classes. But see if you can incorporate them into your asana practice, so that as you are focusing on the challenge, perhaps even of a posture, say your back is tight, that in the midst of the challenge, and you can see this as an opportunity to learn ways to manage stressful situations or challenging situations, using perhaps the hamsa, heart breathing practice, what we were just doing. Imagining that area above your head that you could be breathing your inhalation from that area. Imagining the breath entering in, gliding down the spine into the area behind the back of your heart, and then turning around and leaving, exiting through the same channel, or you can see it as a loop. and it exits back out. All right, so you could take another breath. And push yourself on up. So I'd like us to get a chair. So you probably were sitting on one a second ago. So go ahead and get the chair that you used to sit on. And we're going to sit, excuse me, in Upavista Konasana. So this is that wide-legged, very wide, depending on your camera lens. Seated forward bend. So as you stretch your legs out, you can pause for a moment. So I just have a yoga mat folded up on top of my seat. It just ended up there. But if you want, you can build up, just as a suggestion, if you don't think that at some point you could stack your arms on the top of whatever is there in front of you and rest your head on your arms, then please put something else here so that eventually you can. If it's a pillow, a couple of rocks, some rocks over here, a dog, a cat. Cats might not stand for it. Sometimes my dogs let me use them as yoga props, but my dogs are kind of special. So keep your toes pointing straight up. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting upright for the first few minutes here, because what we're trying to do, and you can even lean back on your hands. What we're trying to do here is give our sacral joints a chance to become balanced. So noticing, you can even close your eyes here. And just noticing if right sit bone is higher than the left sit bone. So you're trying to just relax both sit bones down toward the floor. You could even now grab your gluteus maximus muscles. They're the fleshy part of the butt muscles. Draw them back. So you're right on the very edges of the sit bones. And then when you're ready, you can start your lean forward, your tilt. Go full tilt. Rest your head. Close your eyes. And let the sound go straight to the brainstem. All right, so you can take your last breath here and try to move as slowly as possible. We move way too fast in our society these days. So let this be a radical, revolutionary choice to move slow. As you push yourself up off your chair, come to a more upright seated position. Okay, so you can just push your chair away from you a little bit so that you can bring your legs together. And you can even hug them in. And so as you're hugging your legs in, you are rounding your back outward. And so you can grip your wrists wrap your bracelets of your fingers around and thumb around each wrist, or you can grab your elbows with the fingertips if that works better for you. And just drop your head and round the back. And just stay with your breath. Close your eyes if it's helpful. And so as you are becoming smaller and smaller, it seems, physically, you're connected with that sense that you're like the TARDIS. If you're a Doctor Who fan, then you know what I mean, that your body is actually quite a bit larger on the inside. Your experience of the body is larger on the inside than it is on the outside. All right, then you can straighten your legs back out. And what I want us to do next is to sit on something. So you could sit on I think I'm just going to grab my big pillow, but you could sit on a bolster, you could sit on a couple of folded blankets. And so it's going to require a bit of negotiation here with your space. So one leg is going to be straight out in front of you. So this is another seated forward bend. And the other leg is going to be bent with the legs swept back like it's in a half virasana. Okay? So you could be, whatever you're sitting on can be, you could be sitting on both, or can be underneath both sit bones. The one leg is extended, and we're going to be using this chair, so don't push it away. Hopefully you didn't do that. Did you do that? Hopefully not. And the same principle, you might not be able to see my foot under my chair, but have the foot of the straight leg pointing straight, the toes pointing straight up toward the ceiling. So that means the very center of the heel, back of the heel is what you're resting the foot on. And try to have the bent knee leg, try to have that knee pointing as much as you can, point it straight ahead. So this means like you're, in theory, your femurs, your thigh bones, you're trying to make them be more or less parallel to each other. And there'll be a degree of, not being able to do that, but try not to let it wing way out to the side. Try to avoid that. And then we're going to try to come forward. Same thing. So you might not be able to come nearly as far forward as you could for the first posture. If you can stack up your arms again and rest your head on the back of your hand. So this is Triyang Mukai Pada. So I'm pulling from these postures from a classic flow of posture or sequence of postures created by Gita Iyengar, who is EKS Iyengar's daughter. So she put together the sequence as a restorative, for restoration, for relaxation, for parasympathetic nervous system activation. So since you can probably feel that sort of squeeze or contractedness in the area of your gut, in the abdominal front wall, maybe even in the side walls of the abdominal muscles, see if as you're breathing, you can actively or more actively exhale the breath. So do that from the gut, from the belly, squeezing, rolling in the abdominal muscles, pulling the navel in toward the spine, however you see that. And then with each of the following inhalations, just release the belly outward. And try to avoid quickening the breath. Slowing the breath down quite a bit. Trying to get your breath rate to be at the most 6 breaths per minute. That breath rate is what we know to be an indicator of good health. So we're going to take a moment to switch sides. So again, radical change, radical intention, move slow. So you can lean to the side to straighten the bent leg. You might have to adjust your props or shift your body a little bit. So we're going to go to the second side. Back to the body. Back to sound. Back to the breath. So you can go ahead and take your last breath here. And push yourself up. And you can extract your legs. And then let's prepare for a twist. And actually, let's sit on our chair. I hope this isn't too much up and down from the floor for you, but just sitting sideways. So I'm trying to think of a good transition between forward bending, which we were just doing, and then back bending here that we'll do in a minute. So go ahead and sit sideways. Feet flat on the floor. Knees pointing straight ahead, so the knees are tracking over the feet. And you can start to turn to face the back of the chair. Put your hands on the back of the chair. And remember that the twist, important part of the twist here is happening in your belly. So the belly is the driver, or the steering column. You know, the chest and the shoulders are just kind of moving around. Even the rib cage is kind of follows along. Let the belly go first. So you're twisting the belly, turning, and then so this way you don't strain your shoulders. And the same with the neck. The neck just kind of goes around, follows along to whatever is a comfortable rotation for it. But for many of us, though, staring straight ahead is best for the neck, keeping your chin stacked up over the sternum. Excuse me. So give yourself a moment now, excuse me, to release your pelvis. And then to take a breath, inhale, imagining that you're ascending that spiral, lovely, beautiful spiral staircase that is your spine. Coming out at the top of the head. So how many, it's like a double helix, right? How many times does it spiral around? And then when you're ready, you can let go and spin back. And then you can get up and sit on the other side. Same thing, feet planted. Turn, hold on to the back of the chair. So you're really relaxing those shoulders downward. If you can gaze at yourself in your screen, you can see if your shoulders are jacked way up high. So try to drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. No tension. Drop the pelvis. Breathe. Breathe right up the spiral. Another breath or two. Another breath. One more. You can even rotate the eyes. Look toward the ear, further away ear as you're into the rotation. And then when you're ready, let go. Spiral back. And then you can stand straight up. All right, so back bends. Let's just grab a bolster. And we're going to just practice easy Setu Bandha. I say easy, but you know. Sitting on the far end of the bolster, draping back, over the top. Just going to move my mic. Okay. Slide yourself across the top. Slide your heels away as well. Try to keep the heels in contact with the floor as you do that. So your arms can be out to the sides like you're a T, you're crossing the T. Or you could take your arms overhead like you're doing fish, cradle the elbows, and then take your arms over your head, and then bring your arms to rest on the floor. And you could kind of separate them a little bit, but taking your arms overhead. And then just release, let it go. So you might want to observe and see if you need to manually adjust your head. If your chin is jutting way up high, you might want to scoop your head, lift it with your hands, and then let the head tilt so that you can bring your chin towards your throat, and then put your head back down. Soften all the muscles around your eyes. Put a little bit of space between the upper and lower jaw. Even taking a moment to kind of slowly wiggle your lower jaw, kind of from side to side, just releasing any gripping or tension in your jaw. Let your tongue feel heavy in your mouth, resting the root of the tongue. And then you can just curl the tip of it up so the tip of the tongue touches the roof palate, right about where the back of the front teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Broaden the bridge of the nose. Release your ears down toward the earth. Let the breath be your guide. That guide to your inner guru. That sense of yourself that you may have forgotten. That sense of yourself that is already luminous, is already perfect and whole, harmonious, bliss. All right, so you can again intentionally come back slowly. Slide each heel in, bending the knees. You can squeeze your glutes, your butt muscles, give a good squeeze. Do it a few times, squeeze, 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 and then just hold. And then lift your hips up, press your feet, lift the hips. Keep squeezing your glutes so your back does not spasm on you. And then push the bolster out through the feet. Keep squeezing your glutes and then lower your hips down all the way to the floor. And then you can release your glutes. It's 11:11. You can have your feet on top of the bolster. Keep your knees bent for a moment. Just rest your hands on your belly. Watching the belly rise and fall. Two times. One more time. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and roll to your side. And then let's prepare for lost my little thing. Let's prepare for Supta Baddha. So you can grab a couple blankets. We can do Baddha over the bolster. Drape back over your bolster. Roll up your two blankets. These will go under the legs. And also, if you know that when you drape back over your bolster, your head is going to feel like it's going downhill, you might want to grab a small pillow or another folded blanket for your head. And just push your chair out of the way. We're not going to use it again. So feet coming together, soles of the feet together, blankets tucked underneath the greater trochanters and your lower legs for support. Remember to make higher blanket rolls if you need to. Attention, Paula. Externally rotating your arms so the palms are facing up. Here now, you can take your hands to your outer thighs. Draw the legs together. Slide your heels away. Taking your hands to the floor and push yourself up. And then you can decide how you wish to end your practice this morning. If you wish to set yourself up for a Stonehenge, which is what we've been actually doing over the last several weeks, you can do that. Or if you would like to go to the wall, I think that's what I'm going to do, to put your legs up. You can do that. Taking a bolster to the wall. Remember to give yourself a little bit of room between your body and the wall so that your legs don't continually buckle and kind of fight the inversion, which is not pleasant. At the very least, not boga at all. Remember, yoga is boga. I love that. So it's not, the boga of Western New York. It's B-H-O-G-A, boga. So you can go ahead and take your legs up. So now here, connecting with space in the body, and then also silence. Or just the sort of ambient sounds around you, or the everyday sounds of your immediate environment. Drawing those two lines, intersecting lines from forehead to the jade pillow, base of the jade pillow, and from ear to ear, finding that intersecting place, the midbrain, all the spaciousness in the head. And just imagine putting a whole lot of space around your head, your eyes, your throat, your torso, warmth and spaciousness throughout your body, hips and legs. Warm-hearted spaciousness. Letting go of any holding, letting go of any stuck thoughts or emotions that seem to not have any movement. They seem to come into awareness and kind of linger or get sluggish and don't move on. See if you can just put a whole lot of space around that emotion. Try not to be so identified with that emotion, that thought. As Pema would say, try not to make such a big deal about it. So if you like, you can now add in about a minute of humming, and you can fold your earlobes over and hum your home note, or the note of how you're feeling, for 8 breaths. And then you can massage your ear, cartilage of your ears, circling your ears around in one direction a few times and then the other. Fold your ears over again. And then you can lie still for another minute. Nowhere else to be. No thing that you need to be doing. And no one else that you need to be. So now again, in an act of resistance and kindness, and even with a responsible sense of self-care, begin to return slowly, wiggling your fingers and toes. Slide your feet down the wall, bending your knees and rolling to your side, coming to sit up. And then as you're ready, as you come to sit up, take your palms together in front of the heart, bowing your head to honor yourself. Remember, you already have everything that you need inside. Namaste. Namahe.